Basement Bookers Podcast.
What is up? It's your boys, Basement Jer and Rich the Riz, the most rizzest, baldest man, here with you in the Basement Bookers Podcast, a wrestling podcast for other wrestling fans like you and me and him. Rich the Riz, how are you today? Welcome.
I'm good, bro. How are you? And it's a day early, but bro, happy birthday.
Yes, you undercut me yet again. On
You
time.
could have done it in the intro and you didn't.
Well, I was trying to build to something, but you just
Mm.
can't help yourself and you can't just wait.
Nope.
So I was
Nope.
trying to say that it is not just a regular Basement Bookers episode. It's not just that. It's Rich the Riz's birthday, but he can't help himself because he thinks the world revolves around him. And for today it does. So let's get that started here. Basement Bookers podcast. We're going to start off with some really quick newses. If you're all no doubt aware, this week there have been a total of 4, technically, introductions into the Hall of Fame. Just remember, you could be in the Hall of Fame more than one time because, there's different things to do things. So first, the first one was Paul Heyman. Next is Bull Nakano, legendary. I believe the first Joshi Hall of Fame, I believe, as far as I know. And of course, Mike Rotunda and Barry Windham, but specifically as the legendary tag team of the U.S. Express. If you haven't heard of them, then you probably weren't alive. So it happens. I had to be reminded because I don't recall this. And you got to go back. You got to go back to where it all began. You got to go back to the first WrestleMania. Isn't that right, buddy?
Yeah, I certainly don't remember Mike Rotunda before IRS. I
Yeah.
just don't. And Barry Windham, kind of same. He did some WCW stuff, but they were more like late 70s, early 80s guys. And I mean, I know I'm old, but that's sorry to any of our older listeners. I'm feeling it now. I am realizing that at my age, my teens are officially a quarter fucking century ago. So advanced age. I'm feeling it. I'm in my head with it a little bit, but I got to get past that because we got this podcast. Mike Rotunda and Barry Windham, they were from an era prior to my memory. So,
Yeah.
I also had to look up U.S. Express. I'm like, whoa, cool, interesting.
Yeah, I'm glad that they have the internet and you could just look stuff up, or they're
Mhm.
when they make the video packages, just in case you forgot just who the hell they are.
Right.
Triple H did his thing on X
Mhm.
and things like that. So more news. Seth Rollins, as we are no doubt aware from the end of Monday Night Raw, did Damian Priest leave the building already? Probably. He had a wedding to go to. Needless to say, congratulations to Dirty Dominic Mysterio, who he's a married man for really official. What does that mean? Who the hell cares? It's none of my business. Um, but Seth Rollins is medically cleared. As you saw, he's back, I think, doing house shows and shit like that. So head on a swivel there, buddy. Where you at, Damian Priest? Come on, son. I would never leave.
Mhm.
If it was a
Just
chance.
follow him. Just
Yeah.
follow. Yeah.
Don't even just be in the corner, just
Fo-
waiting.
Follow him to the hotel. Make sure you get the room right next to him with that adjoining door. Like,
Yeah,
listen, I'm gonna hear when you're about to go to sleep, and guess what? I got a ref with me.
that's right, dude. And the refs don't care as long as you have the hotel room key. Another rumor.
Imagine they do a storyline where Priest is dating Jessica Carr just so they could travel together and
You
be a
know,
family together, and he'll just always have her with him.
I wouldn't mind that. It would be a shock to me though because I always never mind. Anyway, the point of this is listen, I just think that we need to think about one thing. And remember what came up before. John Cena was brought up here. Okay? We've
Mhm.
brought up John Cena possibly being involved in the Bloodline saga. And maybe John's just talking. He's just promoting his new movie. I believe it's called Ricky Stenicki or something. It's on Amazon Prime. Not a sponsor. Probably check it out this weekend on my birthday. We'll see about that. And I'll have like a small little review. Either a small little Jer thing or I'll talk to Rich about it on the podcast. Either way, it's going to come up. But he's saying he's free WrestleMania weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he might be looking for revenge on some Samoan spiking fella, or maybe he could be the counter to the most electrifying man. Because we got to talk about, and this is the segue, we're going to talk straight into it. Last Friday, we recorded this episode, last episode, we recorded it before. And on SmackDown, it was made. The challenge was thrown out. What we all knew was going to happen, what all of the ads basically were telling us was going to happen. The Rock has put out the challenge that the Rock and Roman Reigns
Connection. Rock and Roman
Yes.
connection.
The Rock and Roman connection, the High Chief and the Tribal Chief. But we'll get to that. Team up against Cody Rhodes and maybe that goofy clown emoji Seth Rollins as of the SmackDown episode.
Real quick on that SmackDown episode, kind of contrary to that opening segment of that SmackDown episode, 39-minute opening segment, including the commercial break. You
And
kidding
now
me?
you know why Naomi didn't get an entrance. Stuff got cut for time. And best part is this we find out after that the reason he did the promo in the first place on Instagram was that he wasn't going to be able to get everything out he needed to on SmackDown. So technically, if you add it up, which is what you're going to do for me right now, the promo was way longer than that.
So 39 and 21, that's an hour.
That's right. The Rock did an hour for us, guys. So it wasn't at the same time, but if you think about stand-up comedy, that's a special. And we got that shit for free.
That's a Chappelle show.
That's right. Rich, definitely not as good. But listen, I got to get your opinion on this because we weren't able to speak on this. So what did you think about it? Like, did you like it? I want to know what you think first before I go in on it.
The
And
SmackDown?
the
That could
SmackDown.
that really could have been 15 minutes. That really could have been and should have been 15 minutes. It was long. It was dragged out. I get it. It's part of like the Roman Reigns thing where he goes, he's silent, he absorbs the booze, he's silent, he drags it out, acknowledge him, get the booze. No. I think you were better in the other city. Let's try that again.
The point is, it's not enough. That's a point to that because watch when The Rock comes out. All right. Because Roman is starting to, it's starting to show. And the whole time. And if you look at Roman's face, the expressions keep changing. And like even Paul Heyman, like in the background, the faces that he's making, especially when we get into the promo proper.
Bro,
Okay?
if Heyman is on screen, I'm not looking at anyone else. He is that damn good. Has been for the longest time.
Yeah, I'm looking around because like there's a lot lately they've been able to get things into the shot, as it were. But I got a few requests, and this might not affect those of us that watch on YouTube TV or whatever, but the censorship is out of control and stupid and annoying and very intrusive. I get it, but I hates it. You know what I mean? How they're always all like, there was like a sign said Brocky die. So what? How do
Was
you
that
think he
censored
got
too?
here the first? That's what some people were saying. And it was the sign, and of course we know all the expletives or whatever. I guess
I did see a sign that said the Rocky the. Now, if you know in German, the German word the is spelled die.
Yeah.
So this guy got around it. He's like, okay, just translate to German and it says die Rocky die.
Let's say die, Bart, die.
No, that's German for the Bart.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, come on. We from the Attitude Era, Rocky Maivia, they
Blue
just
chipper.
exactly. But really, you can't do a lot about that. Now, a lot was said. My opinion of the promo is because of everything that was together, it was fine. But you can't with Roman's entrance and that it's too much.
Yeah.
And I understand. I understand it because it's the tribal chief doesn't come often and everybody wants the experience. But then you got that. You know what I mean? Like that has to be something that has to be like broken up or it was great. It was a great piece of business.
Mhm.
Okay, that's my overall review before anybody thinks I'm hating or whatever.
Mhm.
And it's not because of The Rock mostly. It's
Mhm.
everyone, everybody there.
Yeah.
Like, was The Rock trying to break Solo? What's going on here?
He was.
He was, and and Solo was just getting annoyed, which is the
And
best thing to do. So you don't break is to get annoyed.
I did see a screenshot on, I think, X of Solo actually laughing, and it looked like it was that segment. So it might have just been a different angle, an angle we didn't get.
It could have been AI. You have to be careful. There's ways to do things
Mhm.
now. They're getting the hands better now. It's crazy.
Do
So
not want.
yeah, like there's weird ones that like just automatically fix things, or they'll add smiles to things, or add mustaches to things. So you gotta, if you got like them Roman Reigns shiners, those shiny bright teeth like Roman,
Mhm.
there might be a problem here. I don't know if they could fit in that mouth. That's why he's always quiet, you know.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
but in regards to the promo, I thought when I was just waiting, I'm like, what's going on? Because when The Rock was in, after he did all his thing and the challenge and this and that, so bloodline rules. If
Mhm.
Cody and definitely Seth Rollins, if they lose,
Mhm.
then it's bloodline rules on the next day
Right.
at night 2.
Mhm.
If
But if
not,
Cody and Seth win, then the rest of the bloodline, which he named Heyman and Solo and Jimmy, are and Rock are banned from ringside.
that's right.
Obviously, he didn't mention anyone that is not officially in the bloodline yet, but let's not put the cart ahead of the horse.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned that it's gonna turn into like my predict. If they lose the first night, which I have a feeling they will,
Mm.
that it will be bloodline rules because why would you have a rule that we've never seen used? And you know what I mean? You can't just offer this rule up to me and I never get to
Right.
see what that means.
Hmm.
I understand the implications of this.
The
But
implication.
yes, don't throw me off here.
Sorry.
But you can't there's no way they'll go with it. It's gonna turn into like a and that will probably be a segue for later, but like it's gonna feel like Sting and Triple H when they basically had everybody out there.
I
Like a
was thinking
big
Rock
old
versus Brock at SummerSlam with the forklift, the dump, the whatever the fuck you call that, front end loader.
you mean Rock and Roman? Brock and Roman?
Isn't that what I said?
I thought for some right I thought you said Rock and Brock, but I probably am a
I
brain
might
dead
have.
idiot. So
No, I might be wrong. Roman versus Brock, where
that
you had the forklift jammy, and you had the entire bloodline, all the interference.
it was for all the belts.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's gonna be worse than that because it's like the
then it's legal,
rules. It's
and you don't have
like
to wait for a ref bump.
exactly you can just do whatever you want. I think that's what's gonna be the case, and that's where the Cody bloodline Revengers come
Hmm.
into play. But
What Captain Rabble do himself.
listen, and this is like it's by the way review in progress, but every loading screen, I don't know if it's just for the My Rise story mode in the WWE 2K24 game, but spoiler alert. So the story is that Roman, you're not going to believe this shit. Roman Reigns
Hmm.
vacates after he beats Cody. He vacates the championship. He decides he wants to go to Hollywood and do Hollywood better than The Rock to show that he's better than The Rock. So then there's a tournament. And William Regal is the GM for Raw. The Miz is the GM for SmackDown. So basically Regal gets you're in this tournament. You're the dark horse. For some reason, you're in this Universal Championship tournament.
The creator wrestler.
Basically, long story short, you wind up facing off against Cody Rhodes. So you got to follow the things, and then there's a ref bump. And after Cody hits the crossroads on you, it turns to the shot. The shot, the shot in wrestling when the interference comes.
Yeah.
The tribal chief spears Cody and takes your lifeless body and drapes it over Cody Rhodes.
Wow.
Roman Reigns, that motherfucker, so spiteful. He'll come back from Hollywood.
Never finishing that story.
Fuck your story, Cody. Basically, is what The Rock did.
Wait. So, like, that's like
what Roman did.
So that's like taking the title, The Never-Ending Story, and just applying it to like Cody Rhodes' life.
He's just gone off on this guy. He just doesn't like Cody. And but the point was, like, on the loading screens, you have Roman's reigns. The time 1,000 at this point it's like 1,242 days or something. I don't know if it's up. It's not updated, but because it's and then you see Hulk Hogan on the other loading screens and his days. It's a little fucking close. So I really think I'm starting to think, and I was for sure thinking it, that Cody is not winning this year. Like I think Roman's gonna win. I really think. I'm saying it, and look, I think it's probably gonna happen. I think Roman's gonna beat Hulk Hogan's record.
I think odds are stacked. I wonder if.
And don't blame the Cody crybabies. It's probably going to happen anyway.
Right. I wonder if part of the ultimate long-term storyline, because we know they're writing this like super long-term.
Yeah.
If one of the stops on the storyline is Survivor Series, and there's going to be a Survivor Series match, Bloodline versus Cody Vengers.
Yeah.
Seth and Cody, maybe Cena, Jay, and that's 4. They could do 4-on-4. They could do 5-on-5. Roman, Rock, Solo, Jimmy, +1. So that will leave it open for not Toliona, Jacob Fatu, or whatever other Bloodline family member they have waiting in the wings.
Yep. And people still don't trust Seth Rollins. So who knows what's going to happen with him? And from what I understand, the world title is co-maining night 2.
Makes sense.
So since they'll have their tag team match night 1.
Wow. So the 2 men's world titles are maining event night 2. Yeah, the tag match, and I guess the 2 women's titles maining night 1.
I don't know about that, because The Rock and Roman Reigns teaming up against Cody and Seth Rollins seems like a main event match to me.
Well, I said the team match, and
that
was
that
what I meant.
tag team. Oh,
that tag team match. Yeah, not
every time I
WWE tag titles. What? No one cares about those.
Fuck that. Yeah, my bad.
Finn Balor,
right.
the first Universal Champion, and Send Your Money in the Bank. No one cares about them.
Yeah, yes.
They didn't even give them like their own titles yet. Like, how long has Judgment Day held a blue and a red title belt to the point, and their colors are black and purple, that they haven't made a purple belt yet? Come on, no one cares about them.
It feels like there's no commitment here.
Right. By no one, I mean no one in management that's actually in control of the storylines and anything important that is actually going on screen. We care about tag titles, but management don't care about them so much.
Right now, there's no real story that I'm aware of. Because like we're just getting that Intercontinental Champion thing, which, by the way, gauntlet match. Come on, man. It's March. You couldn't come up with a tournament bracket?
Or you got 6 guys, 6-pack challenge, especially coming up on St. Paddy's Day.
There's a lot going on here, isn't there?
I just feel like there's a few missed opportunities here.
I'm starting to think that the gauntlet match might not be the way. Like, something's going to happen and they'll have to do it another way, kind of thing. Because it's like, it's really early, but then again, it's early enough where you want to build Gunther's opponent, like who he has to, you got to do all the promos and stuff for the week leading up to it. So you got to want to get him an opponent, I guess. Maybe that's like the other argument.
Yeah, it's looking to me that it's going to be Gable, but I mean,
Sami Zayn's got an argument.
Sammy has an argument, but realistically, I think the other main contender would be Bronson Reed. Not a fan, personal opinion, but the fact that there was a pay-per-view in Australia, he couldn't make it because he had a child being born that day. I feel like they're gonna want to be like, "Oh, sorry, you missed it. Here you go," kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that's possible. I wouldn't, I just don't think that's the matchup. And I know you're right because we've obviously all those guys fail to beat Gunter.
Hmm.
So we him getting another shot at him, maybe more motivated. But my only concern is that I like him really. You know what I mean? I don't know how many other people, you know what I'm saying? Like Gunter's a heel, right?
Hmm.
So I need someone to face him that people are gonna get behind. Or you know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna get behind Bronson Reed.
Right.
Like nothing's really been like the fact that he missed the pay-per-view in Australia and all that, like we know about it. But his TV character isn't exactly like, built on that. Like he's a heel,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So why do I care about a heel not getting his opportunity? You know what I mean? Like he's just been a mean guy. He's not
Hmm.
nice. He's not a nice man.
Yeah.
Where's the adversity? He's a big man. He could F everybody up. So it's
Yeah.
like I don't want to cheer for Gunter at WrestleMania. Well, I'm gonna cheer for him anyway. But I'm just saying, like Gunter's the heel.
I cheer for Gun. Yeah, true.
Unless you're
Speaking
gonna flip
of,
him, because with
hmm
Dom, what's up
hmm
with that? Like, obviously, it was to get him, some time off, probably. But like, I was cheering for Gunter. Michael
hmm
Cole was. Everybody was.
yeah, that was really cool. One thing I noticed as we're discussing this here, not entirely off topic, but other than all the champs are heels on the main roster,
Yes, that's
Logan
true.
Paul,
Yeah.
Gunter, Kabuki Warriors,
Yeah.
Judgment
Very heel
Day.
heavy.
I feel like they might turn Judgment Day though.
Wow. Really?
So like, Mommy's been getting the pops because Mommy
Mm-hmm.
deserves the pops because she's just great. We saw Judgment Day versus Imperium. Judgment Day was getting the pops. The crowd turned and was rooting for Judgment Day over Imperium. It would be an opening for them.
Well, they
Priest
look.
was acting a little face like towards the end of that tag match too.
Yeah, and they're trying to recruit Andrade, maybe like Dominic Mysterio wants to recruit him, but
Saw that.
I don't think that Andrade wants to be friends. I think it might. I mean, I think that he might have to take care of some business, because him disrespecting his father and all that. You know what I'm saying? But it'd
Mm,
be cool if they were friends. Like that'd be interesting. But it looks like Andrade's a face. But like you
looks like
said, they could be going that way too. But that briefcase can't be in play anymore. I just
right.
don't. It's kind of strange. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Oh,
It's like you have this prop, you have this conspicuous prop that we see on TV every week as we're reminded of it. I mean, I guess maybe let's say optimistically, credit to them for having it on TV every week, but really not calling attention to it otherwise, so that when he cashes in, it's that much of a surprise, that much more of a surprise. If that's what they're doing, I like it. If they don't have anything written yet and are kind of just going with the flow, get your shit together. Because we're at like, what did we say last week? 9 months? We're only three
yeah.
months away from its expiration. I think it was July. So 4 months.
I'm still wondering if he's holding out to cash in on Gunter because, like, if you want to live forever, the tribal chief is protected by The Rock now, and this, of course, always the world title, and we always think about that. But Gunter's the longest undefeated intercontinental champion there is,
I think,
and that belt has more lineage than the world championship anyway.
wait, let's say, is Drew and Seth at Mania or what? Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Drew's. Yeah, he won the elimination chamber match.
Let's say Drew wins. Priest cashes in immediately, takes advantage. Maybe,
Oh, I'd be so
chair shots,
upset.
briefcase shots. Priest takes it, and then Drew still being super heel, you betrayed me, right? Because remember, he was working with Judgment Day, and Priest as face is like, listen, that's just how the Money in the Bank briefcase is. You won the title for a second time, third time, because stupidity. You won the title. Congrats. Now I'm the champ.
It's gonna be very scary for Damian Priest, I
Mm.
guess. I don't know, man. Every time I think about that briefcase, I get very upset, and I don't know what to do about it. It's like it's this weird situation where it's like I have a feeling that Priest might be headed to the Baron Corbin Club, and not everybody successfully cashes in. Not even
No.
John Cena. Not even John Cena. So
Rabble do.
yeah. So let's move along here, buddy. Let's go.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the well in order, canonically order. Let's bring up
Cannon.
my notes here. We're gonna talk about AEW Revolution, which emanated over at the live on pay-per-view at 8 o'clock. So listen, I don't have these in order because I have them in order of Wikipedia. So you see
Mhm.
here the All-Star 8-man scramble. There was some altercations here, but the winner was Wardlow, as we all said there would be. I know
What?
it's a real shock. Your
Yeah.
face there needed to be seen.
Thinking outside the box there.
Yeah, dude. So let's keep going. Not to waste any time here, but in a shock of shocks of no one except Rich DeRiz knew. Rich DeRiz knew that in the second to last match that Samoa Joe would be retaining his championship. Now I picked Hangman, but in the back of my mind, I was believing. I believe in Swerve Strickland. I thought that they would shock the world, but they didn't, and that's okay. It's okay that they didn't do that. Hangman lost his shit. He was like attacking a referee, like clubbing blows to the back. It kind of reminded me of like when Randy got like when Brock went after Randy, just kept beating the shit out of him.
Mhm.
But but Hangman still went to sleep. So, now all of a sudden, so here's things that don't make sense to me. On Dynamite this week, Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland wind up in a tag team. There's no reason for that.
Right.
Like, there's no reason for Swerve Strickland to want to team up with Samoa Joe just to fight against the ROH tag team champions or whatever.
Nah. He
You
could
know,
he could team with Brian Cage.
yeah. So, needless to say, no one was interested in that. Okay,
Mm.
we're not interested. All right, we're not interested in that. All right,
Mm.
but some people are, and that's okay because they're the greatest ROH tag team champions. But what's more important is that there is a sad man with sunglasses out there with an empty JanSport backpack. There's nothing left in the JanSport. Maybe a marble, like the marble notebook, the black and white, maybe like a pencil so he could write down his feelings about how sad he is in his poetry, about
Mhm.
having his hands in his pockets. But the Messiah of the backbreaker, Roderick Strong, your new
National.
international champion
Mhm.
of the world. But in a shock, Rich Derez. A shock to the system. Wandering back to civilization from a forest, Kyle O'Reilly, bum ass Kyle O'Reilly, has returned.
Wow.
And he's back. And
Mhm.
he's hungry. Hungry for maybe a sandwich. Like the man's eyes, he looks like he hasn't slept. He looks like he's been waiting to play WWE 2K24. Like it's 2015 or something where you had to go to a store. Like
Wow.
this is just, I don't know. Hopefully he's all right. Everything's cool. Looks like he might have some issues with Roddy because he didn't want no shirt. So I don't know why they fuck around. Just put them together.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'm not interested in a Kyle O'Reilly singles run. It didn't work before, and I don't know if it's going to work now, but if it does, I'll be the first one to admit it. I like his fighting style. I like the way he wrestles, but it's just like, I don't know if it's him or the ideas aren't gelling. There's just, I don't know what to do here.
The character work never really landed with me.
Yeah, like just like I've known gentlemen, like the gentleman in the next match we're going to speak about my whole life, I've
Mhm.
also known gentlemen like Kyle O'Reilly. And outside of your cool little jackets, your what is that? That denim jacket that you wear, your denim jacket vest, and maybe your taste in music. There really isn't much to you. You're just a guy. And
Mhm.
maybe I've had to do this myself. Surrender the Axe body spray. Pick up the deodorant. Real deodorant. It's okay.
Wow.
It's okay.
Controversial.
It's okay. I know. I know. I know. I know.
My
So,
my 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 neck beard is getting all twitchy at
I
the
know,
thought.
right? The greatest and just reaching down. Rich Derez, what were your thoughts? Were you? I feel like I was like drowning you out there. I don't want people to think I'm trying to go into business for myself. It's just in my memory, you know.
Not all good, all good. I'm on the same page. I'm not down with a Kyle singles run. I might be down with a Roddy singles run, but like, still backed up by the Kingdom because
Yeah, yeah.
that was all that material was gold.
Dude,
All of that was so good.
from the mustache edition was just
Oh man. Yeah.
Gadrick
So-
Strong is the best. He's the
Yeah.
best. He looks like
Mhm.
somebody's dad.
Adam.
Exactly. Clean your dishes or whatever. Go to your room.
Yeah.
Fucking
All that was so good. Like Taven has emerged as a great sidekick,
that's right,
right?
dude. Yeah.
And Mike Bennett is still Maria Kanellis' husband, so good for him on that, right?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That round of applause. Not a marriage can survive that kind of blandness, but you know what? You know what? Maria, she's great. She had on TV with them, right? She's doing something else.
I don't know. Being a trooper is what she's being.
That's right.
Um so
Trooper and a super mom.
that's right. And Adam Cole, the manager. Anyway,
Baby.
I digress, baby. What a tragedy. All right.
Right.
So speaking of tragedies, Eddie Kingston, the Continental Crown Champion, versus Brian Danielson. Daniel. Renee Paquette accidentally called him Daniel Bryan. It happens.
Oh,
It's all right. Sometimes we use our old names, but hey, what are you going to do? Right, guys? I don't understand it. Like, I get it. And I got to say, and I've said this before, Eddie Kingston made it. Unlike myself and many others, he's fucking made it.
mm-hmm.
He's made it so we can walk out there. Actually, looked like he ran a little bit. He ran out there because, like, it's first he's backstage and Renee Paquette, she's talking and he's just stretching. And as soon as his music hits, he grabs his belts and he just starts running. And he's
Nice.
out there. And I'm like, holy shit, he made it. Now, there's some things that I was critique.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bit, and you probably saw this, where Daniel Bryan, like Brian Danielson, Brian Danielson, leg kicks Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston invites another leg kick, and he
Mm-hmm.
has a bum leg. What? That doesn't prove anything. It
I
doesn't
know.
prove how tough you are. It proves you're an asshole. Because, like, it will get to some
Dummy.
more. You have
Yeah.
to sell it. You know what I mean? And, like, I don't know about you, buddy, but my leg, you kick my leg out of my leg, I'm gonna have trouble. I'll be hobbling around. And Brian Danielson's supposed to be the best wrestler in the world.
Right.
And he didn't beat Eddie Kingston. I don't
You have to be better than someone. You just have to be better than them
for
for
3
3 seconds.
seconds.
That's
I don't
that's what happened.
look, maybe it's like a thing like when John Cena, he made his wish for young LaKnight, who grew up to become LA Knight.
Yeah.
So maybe Daniel Bryan and Brandon is doing something for his friend Eddie Kingston
Mhm.
who happens to be friends with everybody else there.
Mhm.
So it doesn't take away from anything because sacrifices are sacrifices, regardless if you could bench press a car or something.
Right.
So the only reason I had that issue was Dynamite. They made a big deal that Daniel Bryanson was in the ring with Will Ospreay. They're standing there looking at each other. The holy shits, the this, the that. Yes, Will Ospreay, bruv. What a
Mm.
guy. Fresh off his victory of Konosuke Takeshita. And then we got Daniel Bryanson, who just lost to Eddie Kingston, who just doesn't win any big matches. Zack Sabre Jr. whooped his ass.
Well, Zack Sabre Jr. is great.
Well, he is really great. But I'm just saying, like, is your thing just to get in there and roll around with people and just, all right, have a nice day? Like, I need wins for you. And I know there's going to be some AEW people mad at me.
Mhm.
I love AEW.
I hear the
I like,
typing as we speak.
I'm in like with AEW. I mean, I think they're
Mhm.
fine. I think the wrestling is good, but you guys got to really look like sometimes there's shit that just shouldn't have to happen, and
Mhm.
people get hurt for it. You know what I mean? Just some goofy shit that happens there that's unnecessary. And
Yeah.
we'll talk about some unnecessary goofy shit. And I say that loosely because, like, you could seriously be hurt. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
it's not cool, dude. Tough motherfucker, and he fucking made it. Respect to Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
Um,
On topic of what you were just saying, did you hear about Sammy Guevara's suspension?
yes,
It had, from what I read, it had to do with Jeff Hardy's concussion protocol not being observed, and I guess like Sammy attacked him when he
yeah, like
wasn't
he
supposed
did
to.
like a finisher. I think after
Yeah,
the
match or something.
that's an that you can't really blame him for. Like you can, but like, what's the rules? Like, what are the rules there? But
Hmm.
it's like you should all. It's like
We
yes,
need,
he's
yeah,
mm,
they need clarity.
yeah, like he's a young guy, and I
Hmm.
understand that. You know, very young in the business, but like successful pretty early. Like you could say why, whatever. Who cares? You could speculate, but it doesn't matter. I think like something that we have to remember. It doesn't matter how you get there, is that you got there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care how Eddie Kingston got there.
Mm.
He got there. Anything else is just hating.
Yeah,
I can't podcast if I don't do some of that. So the point is,
that's the rule.
everybody's great, but
Mhm.
you also got to be like, hey, is this a good idea? You know, what's wrong with just doing a quick roll up? You know, like
Yeah,
let's finish this. Let's just get out of here. You know, Sammy Guevara is young, but Jeff Hardy's not as young.
right.
So I think that that should be observed at all times. And it's like, why isn't there anything picked up off of the Moxley with Ray Phoenix with the whole like their match at Grand Slam? Like,
Yeah.
why isn't it like you should learn from the past?
Yeah, it should be if someone isn't cleared to compete or isn't cleared to take any kind of head bump, right? Or any if the limited clearance, let's say that clear, right? And if they are going to be physically involved, you have someone from management, you have the doctor, meet with them before because we know they planned the shit beforehand. We know they planned the spots, whatever. Say, listen, this is what he's cleared for. You cannot do this, you cannot do that. No strikes to the head or whatever the case may be. Make it clear in advance. You know, you say it's like you say excuse me so you don't have to say sorry. Right? Makes
Yeah,
sense?
that
Just
does, dude.
yeah, get all the data on the table before you but that way Sammy Guevara goes out, he knows I can't hit him in the head. I can't hit my finisher on him. I got to just roll him up or hit or do a submission like sharpshooter cuz concussion won't it's not, it doesn't affect concussion.
Yeah, fucking, or just like, you know, just drape your hand over, like, just like
Yeah.
stand on them or something, do something.
Yeah.
Maybe pull the tights, something like it'll protect them a little bit,
Yeah.
and just go from there. So, are you ready, Rich, for the
Yes.
next? This match is, well, it's a little segue. Um, we'll talk about the FTR, Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli. Now, we got that one wrong. It was Claudio and Moxley. They won. Moxley and Claudio came out with the Road Warriors tribute. Like they had their own little like football shoulder pads and stuff. And I'm like, you're not the fucking Road Warriors. And they did a Doomsday device.
Okay, cool.
Like worth revisiting, but it's one
Mm.
of those things where it's like it was awesome, but it wasn't for anything. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it does like make Claudio and Moxley contenders for the AEW Tag Team Championship, which is now vacant after the main event that we'll be talking about later on.
Spoiler alert.
So let's go and talk about really quickly. It was Christian Cage, Daniel Garcia, interference. That's right. You can do the dance there. Everybody
that
do
tonight.
it. Daniel Garcia, he didn't do it. There was a lot of interference, a lot of kill switching, a lot of, the mother there, a lot of Nick Wayne.
Wayne.
Yep. So look, nothing really, nothing doing. Daniel Garcia, he's got a bright future and whatever that means. You can only go up, really. So,
Right. Only go up.
yep. Speaking of going up, now people are raving, Rich Perez. They're raving about Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita. Now, I don't know about you, but no, it wasn't match of the year for me because you need to sell. And if I don't, like, there was this exchange where it looked amazing and fantastical, but Takeshita kicks out at 1.
I get it. I get your point. The however is
It looks
that
cool.
that's the Japanese style. It does look cool. That's they do. That's what gets the Japanese crowd riled up. It's like he took all of that and he's kicking out at 1. He has fighting spirit. Holy shit.
I could see why Will Ospreay decided to sign with AEW.
Yeah, bruv.
And I could also see why another individual signed with AEW, a really huge thing that might have happened on AEW Dynamite. It also involved our friend Eddie Kingston. And we'll close with that later on. But Takeshita lost. Ospreay won. It was a friendly battle between Don Callis boys. And there's going to be a match between Will Ospreay and Fletcher. Or it happened already. I don't remember. Cow. So yeah. I don't know why they're fighting amongst themselves, but okay. This is just to showcase them or something.
Sure.
Speaking of showcases, the timeless one herself, Toni Storm, and Diana Peraza went at it, and it was successfully defended by Toni Storm. What was interesting about that was Toni Storm came out twice, or did she? Because first it was original recipe Toni Storm with the music and everything, and it wasn't Toni Storm.
Wow.
It was it Mariah May? Yeah, and she was as like, and then other Toni Storm came out, so I thought that was like a cool little thing. It's like, wow, they're similar, but there's just some things you can't hide from me. I see things. So that was decent. Let's talk about it. Let's get on with it. Here it is. I'm hoping this is it. Yeah, this is it right here. The final match of Sting, the Tornado Tag match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship, which saw Darby Allin come off a ladder into real glass.
Crimea River.
So much glass, like you can see some of it fly like little tiny pieces into like the side area where people are.
Wow.
And apparently there's like a disclaimer, like if you sit in those seats that like shit like that can happen to you. To which I'm like, I hope nothing crazy happens then, because some things you can't just wave away, dog.
Right. Like one of those little shards hits you in the eye. I don't care if it's real glass or not.
It's still in
had
there.
right.
There's
Like,
something in there that shouldn't be there.
yeah, is it going to get stuck? Is it going to scratch your retina? This is not little things. It's not, oh, I cut my finger. No, it's bad.
Sting had his sons. He had one of his sons was as NWO Sting,
Hmm.
and his other son was as Surfer Sting. And came out. He had the Seek and Destroy music was coming out, and like it's one of those things. It's like you smile because like Sting went in there. He's undefeated,
I
by the
heard
way.
that song Seek and Destroy was released on Sting's 40th birthday. Is that true?
Yes, it
Okay.
was. It was indeed.
That's
No
why
facts
you like
here.
it.
Yeah. So and then they did a thing, and the Young Bucks lost, and
Hmm.
they're vacating. And he did a nice speech. You should look that up. Which he had to get it on YouTube because they ran out of time.
Nice. Good job.
AEW right
Good
there.
job with all that clout you got there, TK.
But
All that
look,
cash.
at least they gave Sting, whatever. He's undefeated at AEW. He walked out with the tag team championships, and maybe
I didn't
Darby
realize
Allen.
that.
I
This thing is
realize,
undefeated in
yeah,
AEW.
and maybe Darby Allen is going to Mount Everest. Maybe he'll come back. We don't know because that shit's dangerous. So
Yeah, that's like literally the ultimate stunt on this planet is climbing Mount Everest.
good luck to that psychopath Darby Allen. So overall, Revolution, it was indeed the best revolution since the last revolution, and it was televised. 4.5 stars from the Basement Bookers podcast collectively added up. I would say
Yes,
it's
agreed,
fair.
agreed. And just so we know what we're comparing to, last year's Revolution, the main event was MJF versus Brander Dander in a 60-minute Iron Man match for the AEW World Title.
Definitely the best one since the last one, despite your trying to make me dismiss that,
No, I'm
because
not.
that's actually pretty good, but still.
Mhm.
Best one since the last one. You are correct, sir. Rich Derez, who is ready for Roadblock? You
Me,
are.
me,
Okay. It's
yes, yes.
the first match. Rich Derez, take us through this. Dijak versus Joe Gacy in a cage
This
match.
This was an asylum match officially billed, and we saw duct tape, kendo sticks, trash cans, a door.
Duct tape around the eyes.
Ultimately, we saw Dijak toss Joe Gacy through the door. It wasn't just like going through the door, like, oh, let me go through this door. No, the door was
No, like,
propped up in the corner.
yeah.
He went through it the hard way, breaking the door, of course, with his own body. We saw the feast your eyes twice. The 1, 2, 3. Dijak gets a big win under his belt. Finally, thankfully, Dijak needs a push.
Yeah. I wonder if he'll team up with Joe Gacy because he's
That's what
so
they're doing.
crazy. It's
Rock and
got to
sock,
be
right?
something like that. Yeah. I think it would like add layers, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he wants to get to know him better. But speaking of getting to know each other, we had the Wolf Dogs. Who versus Chase University. Yeah. Yeah.
Chase you.
Yeah, chase me. Me, Rich Derez. I like the wolf dogs. I like their like little wolf nose mask things. That's kind of cool. Little Corbin's. His is better. I like the wolf
Mm-hmm.
one. Wolf one's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only reason I like Baron Corbin is because of his team. And
Yeah. That
this
Corbin needs someone to play off of.
yeah, this would be the victory was when Chase was unbeknownst that the tag was made, the blind tag by Braun Breaker and
Mm-hmm.
got speared in half, and that was it.
Yep.
And post match, Thea's a little bit disappointed, just leaves because apparently they're losers, according to JC Jane. We don't know what's going on there.
I mean, it's a good thing she saved the university, right?
I know. I think she wants to take over the university.
From
JC
chase you
Jane.
to jace you.
Hey, there you go. You did it.
I did. Got us there.
Match 3, not a match. Not a match, but a match.
Yeah.
So Sean
So,
Spears, he's like, hey,
mhm.
look at me. Rich, go ahead, buddy.
Chairman. So he faced Uriah Connors, who I hadn't seen before in NXT. Apparently, Uriah Connors is real name. Come on, mouse. Here we go. Brogan Finley, the other son of Fit Finley.
Oh, shit.
So probably the first time we've seen him. Certainly not the last.
Yeah, and not the last that we seen of someone who's very upset with Sean Spears, and that was our buddy. What's his name? Don't tell me. Hold on. I'm thinking about him. He's a brawling brute. He used to be a brawling brute. He's a rugby player. Ridge Holland. Ridge Wallet. There.
Ridge
Got it.
Wallet.
Wallet.
We're not sponsored.
Ridge
Sorry.
Wallet comes out, not sponsored.
Mhm.
And
My Ridge Wallet's gonna beat your chair.
yeah, that's what Sean Spears says. But he wants Sean Ridge Wallet to get him. He wants him to hit him. He wants him to like hit him with a chair or something. It's like, why? Like, I don't know what's going on.
I think he's trying to have Ridge embrace his rage. For what purpose? Hopefully, we'll find out next week.
Hopefully.
Tuesday.
What I don't have a graphic for is Blair Davenport versus Fallon Henley.
Not even 3.5 minutes. Like we saw the interference.
To
She's
the
back.
point where
Hey,
Jamal and Rosie would come out and then just take care of them.
Right.
You know, because it's 3 minutes too long.
Right. That's what would have happened. But now, 3 minutes 28 seconds. We had and then
The
Fallon
return.
Henley. Yeah, there's all Ruka. She's happy to be back. She's smiling after getting involved in a match. I don't know. I feel like faces shouldn't do like, oh hey, I'm back. Surprise attack. But I'm a face. Woohoo. No.
I
That's not
helped
a
my
face thing.
friend.
It doesn't follow the face formula. It doesn't track.
Well, that's okay. What does track is the tag team women's championships here at Roadblock. It was Tatum Paxley, who hoped to become more than friends with Lyra Valkyria. And by that, she means tag team champions, allegedly.
Right.
Together to really solidify their union, as it were. That didn't happen. The Kabuki Warriors won. There was a nice exchange with Kairi Sane and Tatum Paxley, seeing who's just weirder than the other one, I guess. And that was something.
So to me, it sounded like when Kyrie goes up for the insane elbow, it sounds like the crowd is chanting, Roofy, oh, Roofy, oh.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Right.
That means there's old people in that crowd.
Of course they're in Florida.
Oh.
Because when you get these small crowds and that's the only ones you're like competing in front of, they're gonna do stuff like that to get themselves over, brother.
Yeah, you got to do. Oh, that's interesting. What else is interesting? Is what you were gonna say before I interrupted.
No, I'm following you. I'm following you. I got this.
What's really interesting is this main event that we knew was gonna definitely be Carmelo Hayes just beating the Don, who apparently got a new consigliere, and also he's making moves. So regardless, he's gonna see Ilya on Sunday. So I don't know what that means at all.
I don't know either.
But for right now, maybe that Trick Williams came back and he wanted a piece of Carmelo Hayes, regardless of that, and even beat up the Carmelo Hayes guys.
Yep, saw that.
And yeah, what is this for? The Roadblock before Stand and Deliver, right? That's the WrestleMania NXT is Stand and Deliver.
That's right. Stand and Deliver April 6th, which is, I believe, WrestleMania Saturday. Yeah, that is WrestleMania Saturday. It's airing before WrestleMania. Special start time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Saturday, April 6th. We are 4 weeks out, brother.
That week is going to suck towards the end. We got
only for us.
Yeah, just for us. Everybody else is going to have a great time. But
yes. We're going to have a great time. I don't know what you're talking about. It's going to be great.
We got to record Thursday.
All the wrestling.
Oh my God. It's like Wrestling Woodstock week or some shit. WrestleMania is bad. WrestleMania's got a lot to live up to. I gotta say, and The Rock is gonna make that happen, I guess, because he said wrestling's cool again.
Speaking of The Rock that you mentioned, so I think, to be fair, that the length of that SmackDown segment, the 40 minutes, was part of the heel tactic because Rock, as the boss, can do whatever he wants with his show. He can get the first literal third of the show just for him and Roman.
I mean, he can pretty much do what he wants, and he's
Mhm.
just showing it. So there is credence to that. But I am receiving the light, which means they're giving me the go home. This has been an hour, give or take, of the Basement Bookers podcast. We were happy to have you here with us. But today's a special episode. It's Rich the Riz's birthday. So why don't you check us out at patreon.com/basementbookerspod. And Rich the Riz has a parting message.
That's right. The link to that is down below in case you don't know how to spell whatever. And if you don't, it's okay. We still love you. And yeah, there's that. There's the link tree. The links are all in the Patreon as well. And Jer, happy birthday to you as well. And Jer has a parting message.
No, I was giving
What?
you the parting message.
Oh,
That was letting
well,
you do the parting message for once.
it's
for
your
your
line, but okay.
birthday.
Well, okay. Thank you.
Unless you want to make your own. Do you
I
want
got
your
it. No, no,
own?
no. I can't make my own. I'm not as creative as you, so I got this. All right. The match of life is scheduled for one fall, so make it count.
And do what the man says.
Follow the Booker.